Hi everyone, and welcome back to Warren's Team Talk. I'm going to do today. Well, first of all, before I start all that, I hope that you're all well and having a great day. And I'm sorry about the confusion for the start time of this video. There was just some madness going on here, unfortunately, that I had to deal with. So, everything's calmed down now. So we're ready to rock and roll, and let's see what this is all about. So what I'm doing today is I'm going to do a review of match day 7 of the Premier League, which was from the weekend just gone. And James is in the chat and he's saying, "Hi Warren, I hope you're well." Yeah, I'm okay, mate. How are you? I'm sure you're absolutely delighted with Everton's 1-1 draw at Old Trafford at the weekend, but in my opinion, I think you could have beaten them, to be quite frank. But we'll come to that in a minute, though. So let's get on with it. So the first game of the day was Manchester United played Everton at Goodison Park, and Jace is coming with another chat saying, "I'm good, thanks, Warren." Well, I'm really pleased to hear that, mate. Did you manage to get to Old Trafford for the United-Everton game? Just curious if you managed to get yourself a ticket or not. Because I think Ollie's in trouble. I'll be surprised if this doesn't come to a head soon, because that's 4 games now without a win, I think. Kind of lost in the League Cup. They drew with who was it? They lost in the League Cup, lost to Aston Villa, narrowly beat Villarreal when really they should have been tonked in all fairness. And then there's this game at the weekend against Everton. And James has come in with another chat saying, "Yeah, I didn't go, Warren. I watched the game at home." Well, I don't blame you, to be honest, mate. I remember years ago I was on holiday in Mallorca, and was on this package holiday thing, and me and my mates, we met a group of lads from Manchester, and I think they were all City fans. And they just seemed to be obsessed with Scousers. They just absolutely hated them. I just couldn't figure it out. They were more. They had more respect for me than they had the people from Liverpool. I just couldn't work it out, mate. But still, that's their problem, I guess. And James said, "I was delighted with the result and the performance on Saturday. We could have won it, but I couldn't fault the team's effort at all." No, and Andros Townsend scored again, didn't he? He scored an absolute belter of a goal, apparently. So these Mancs that I met, they were just they were a bit OTT, to be quite frank, and I didn't take to them at all, to be quite honest. But still, that's another story. And then the second game, Burnley played Norwich at Carrow Road, and the game ended in a 0-0 draw. But I understand there was an incident with a flailing elbow. Surprise, surprise. There's a bit of irony there for me. I mean, how much longer is this fella going to be allowed to get away with giving people forearm smashes in the face and whatnot before someone does something? It's high time that he was taken in front of the FA and either warned about his future conduct or given a 3-match ban, because it's getting ridiculous. It's every week, and he's getting away with it week after week after week. James has come in with another chat saying, I couldn't believe that Ronaldo was on the bench. Ollie is clearly not good enough. Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Now, going back to that Man United-Everton game, I heard that Ronaldo had been questioning Ollie's tactics, and also that he'd been making remarks about Ollie's management style and things like that. And then I wonder whether Ollie put him on the bench because he thought, well, I'm the manager here, not you. I'll decide what goes on. And he wanted to use it as a way to sort of take Ronaldo down a peg or two. But it obviously backfired on him, didn't it? And then he stormed off at the end of the game, didn't he, Ronaldo? So, I don't know. Something's got to give between them two because it's clearly not working. And I think it's only a matter of time before something comes to a head. Either Ronaldo will ask for a transfer out of United, or Ollie's going to end up getting the sack. And I'm pretty sure I know which one it's going to be, to be quite frank. James said Norwich finally got their first point. Awful game. It was awful game. It was watching it on Match Day. And I haven't watched it yet, to be quite frank. But, yeah, I just heard about the forearm smash again. And it's like becoming a weekly thing with this fella. Like going around doing these forearm smashes. I just don't understand how he's allowed to get away with it. Because clearly it's not in the rule book that you're allowed to do that. So how come he's not being penalised for it and being allowed to get away with it? It's just ridiculous in my book. So there you go. The next game, Chelsea and Southampton. Now that was an interesting game for me, really, because Chelsea and Southampton were drawing 1-1 until right near the end of the game. Timo Werner scored and the goal got disallowed, and there was some debate as to whether it should be disallowed or not. And then something happened. Can't remember what Southampton player it was, but I got a feeling it was James Ward-Prowse ended up getting sent off, and then Chelsea ended up winning the game 3-1, and Werner managed to get himself on the score sheet. So that must have been a big relief for him. But Chelsea managed to get a win out of that game. Then possibly sounds like they might have been a bit fortunate to do so. But I don't really know because I didn't see the game. I haven't seen Match Today yet. I wanted to, but I haven't had the opportunity to do it yet. And then Norwich, James come in with the chat saying about the first point. We've read that already. And Stapes is here. Oi, Warren, mate. Hi, Stapes. How are you, fella? I hope you're good. Nice to see you here. I hope you're enjoying the video. It was great to get on the watch along and have a chat with you three on the weekend. I really enjoyed that, to be quite frank. So James has come in and said Southampton didn't play that bad against Chelsea. The red card to Ward-Prowse didn't help them. Chelsea are back at the top of the league. Yeah, they are top of the league, aren't they? I don't know, though. I don't know if you know that YouTuber by the name of Stump Peg. She went to the Liverpool-Chelsea game and she was going on about the title race, and she didn't think that Chelsea would be in the running at the end. She thought it was going to be a dogfight between Chelsea and Liverpool. So it'd be interesting to see what happens, because it's part of me that agrees with her, to be quite honest. But the thing is, that girl, she knows her football, that's for sure. I wouldn't mind having a sit down and having a chat about football with her. That's definite. Stapes coming in with a chat saying that he's fine. I'm thanks, mate. So I'm sure that means that he means that he's fine, which is good news. I'm glad to hear it, Stapes. And James has said, I've heard of her, Ron. I've not seen much of her videos. Mate, her videos are fantastic. I love them. She does some really, really good content. She's really, really good. And, yeah, she just is. She's a big Bolton Wanderers supporter. And she goes to a lot of games over the northwest of England, obviously. It's interesting. Stapes said, I'm good, thanks, mate. Yeah. Excellent, Stapes. Excellent. Stapes says, I bet you do. Yeah, no, she's let's put it this way. She's very easy on the eye. Let's put it like that. Well, she is for me anyway. But I'm just a dirty old man, so there you go. The next game was the Leeds Watford game. Now, did either of you see that game? Because again, because I didn't see much today, I didn't. But Leeds won by 1-0, and then yesterday, the Watford manager got sacked. So the rumour was that he was. He was presenting with too much Arteta-esque tendencies, so the Watford board decided to get rid of him. And the talk is this morning, I was doing some other things. I heard that they're trying to get Claudio Ranieri to take over. Now, I have to say, I wouldn't mind Ranieri at Arsenal, to be quite frank. I'm sure that he'd do a better job than the current manager, but still. We'll see. Leeds should have been out of sight against Watford. As for the sacking, the manager, no shock at all. Yeah, says James says Leeds should have been out of sight against Watford. As for the sacking of the manager, no shock at all. Because it hasn't been going well for them, hasn't it? I think they're a bit like Norwich. They'll come up, struggle, get relegated, come back up again. But I think the fact that they lost your man who went back to Birmingham, what's his name? The striker. God, I can't even remember his name. That's embarrassing, isn't it? That was a blow for them, though. And Stapes says, you're joking. I wish I was, mate. I wish I was. And then Old School Gunners in as well. Excellent. Thanks for coming, Old School. Nice to see you, mate. I'm good, mate. I hope you're good too. And Old School is saying, all right, Stapes. That's good. And all right, James. So James has come in with another chat. Dilly ding, dilly dong is returning. Not sure he'll last long. How much money does their board keep wasting bringing in and sacking managers is mental. Yeah. Apparently, I didn't know this, but apparently we're still paying off Unai Emery. So there you go. But that was a big mistake, I think. I mean, yeah, it went a bit nuts at the end, but I think if we'd stuck with him, we wouldn't be bloody struggling like we are now to score goals and be sat in about 12th place, whatever it is. Anyway, Old School. I subscribe to your channel, James, and all the channels connected it. Good man, Old School. That's excellent. Then, all right, old school, says James. James says, nice one, old school gunner. Big up. James, I didn't know you had a channel. When I finish this, I'm going to go and have a look for it and subscribe. So anyone who's watching this, like on playback, because it says that on my thing it's saying there's 2 people in the chat, but I can see at least 3 of you. Anyone who's watching this on playback who hasn't subscribed to James, go and check him out and subscribe to him, because he's a top man. His choice of football team's a bit dubious, but still, never mind. I'm only joking, James. And old school gunner says, not a bother, Don Warren. I'm not sure I'd refer to myself as a Don, but thanks anyway, old school. And James says, I don't do videos, Warren, but I have an account on YouTube. Okay, well, I'll go and check it out and leave some comments or whatnot. Laugh out loud, Warren. Ha ha ha, says James. James, do you go to Everton games a lot? Because if you could you could always do a pre-match vlog and after-match vlog, and you wouldn't necessarily have to come on screen. You could put, you could not show yourself and do that. That'd be quite interesting. I always love watching people's vlogs when they go to matches. I think it's really cool. My channel is great if you have trouble sleeping. Old school, don't say that, man. Your videos are good, man. Don't be saying that nonsense, honestly. I really enjoy your videos. They're really cool. Only home games, Warren. I have a season ticket. Fair play to you, mate. Years and years ago, I used to have a season ticket at Arsenal, and then it just got too expensive, and I had to get rid of it. And also there was all the issue with the violence at the time, because it was around 88, 89, I think, that I had the last time I had a season ticket at Arsenal. But then the other day they emailed me offering me a gold membership at Arsenal, which means that you get to have a season ticket. So that was pretty cool. Not that I can take it up, because I ain't got the money to do that, but it was good that they did it. So the next game was Wolves at home to Newcastle, and Wolves won by 2-1. Now, I was really shocked by this, because I thought Newcastle were going to turn them over, because I thought the Wolves had been playing really badly, and I thought, although Newcastle don't play the greatest football, I thought they had enough in their locker to beat them. But fair play to Wolves, they pulled it out the bag and won 2-1. And then James has come in again. Problem is, Warren, I wouldn't know how to edit and other things. I'm not great with that. Great with technology. Okay, mate. Well, if I can ever help you, please let me know, and I'll try and see what I can do to help. Because this StreamYard thing that I'm using is really easy, to be quite honest. And you can watch tutorials on YouTube about stuff and whatnot. It's not really difficult. So if you fancy it, don't let that hold you back. Old School Gunner says, I'm live streaming at 6 p.m, lads. I will be discussing Arsenal season so far. Excellent. I'll try and make sure that I get onto that one, mate. And that should be an interesting one, that's for sure. And James Dunlop says Newcastle defensively all over the place, and their way in got a bit toxic towards Steve Bruce. I don't blame them. No, neither do I, mate. And I don't believe. I think they should have been having a go at Mike Ashley as well. But that stump peg woman that I told you about, she went to the Man United Newcastle game when Ronaldo made his second debut for United, and she was saying that Newcastle were playing that 9-man defence in that game. So, yeah, that just tells you all you need to know about Bruce Ball, I suppose. Old School Gunners saying Premiere Pro is good for editing. Is that right, Old School? Is that what you use? Because I had a really older version of like something similar to Premiere Pro, but I can't figure out how to use it. And Old School says Adobe Premiere Pro. Oh, okay. And James says, I'll give it a think, Warren. Yeah, mate. Why not? I mean, apart from anything else, you can just record all your memories about the games and stuff. So yeah, it's because it'd be interesting to look back at it when you get older, when you get old and decrepit like I am, you know, and your memory starts going, you won't be able to remember it all. But then Stapes has come in with another chat. Says I will try and pop in at 6, Old School. I'm at work now, but he's quiet. Okay, well I'm glad to hear it's quiet, mate, and they're not got you rushed off your feet. James says Diesel is streaming at 6:30 as well, Ryan. Is that right? Well, that'd be interesting. I'll see if I can make sure I'm tuning into that one as well, because I miss them. I really do miss Diesel and Terry's streams. I really like their streams. That'd be interesting. Old School Gunner says tearing it up. Yes, absolutely. James is coming. I can see Newcastle going down. They don't score enough goals and they're not tight enough at the back. Yeah, sounds like another club I know as well that don't score enough goals and aren't particularly tight at the back. But yeah, less said about that, the better, really. Old School Gunner says, nice one, Stapes. Right, so let's move on to the next lot. And I think I know what's coming up next. There we have it, people. It's Brighton and Hove Albion against Arsenal. That game ended in a 0-0 draw. I thought it was going to be a 1-1 draw, but it was a 0-0 draw. And particularly in the first half, I wasn't impressed with what I saw, particularly with Arsenal's midfield. It was shocking. We looked like we were getting overrun. We just couldn't get it together at all. And for me, it just showed up how badly we needed like a proper top draw defensive midfielder to play alongside Thomas Partey. And I know lots of people are like crying out for Basuma to be brought in, and I know that he's a gooner as well, so I don't understand why they don't go and do it. Because if we don't get one, this is going to keep happening, because that Lokonga kid, he's not a defensive midfielder. And I think the only defensive midfielder we got is Mohamed El Neni, and his form is up and down like a bride on a honeymoon's duvet cover, to be quite honest. And then there's some more chats here, so let's have a look at this. Old School Gunners says Norwich are in serious trouble. Yeah, it's sad, really, because one of my best mates is a Norwich fan, and I know that he's really worried about it, bless him. And I wouldn't like to see them go down, because I remember back in the 80s, they used to play some absolutely beautiful football. They were a real top quality side. They went out to Bayern Munich and beat Bayern Munich in the Olympic Stadium 2-1. And they played Inter Milan in the UEFA Cup and whatnot. They were a really good side. And the year that Arsenal won the first league title under George Graham, for like 90% of the season, they were going toe to toe with Arsenal at the top of the table. Old School Gunner says, cracking game yesterday between Liverpool and Man City. Yeah, I've heard it was a really good game. Like I say, I haven't seen it yet. A friend of mine, she went up there. She's a Liverpool fan. And she weren't impressed with the City fans, that's for sure. I can tell you that. James Dunlop says Brighton had over 20 shots on Saturday. They are so wasteful in front of goal. Arsenal show a lack of consistencies and performances, not just the results. Absolutely spot on, James. And I'm telling you something. If Brighton had Aubameyang and Lacazette playing up front, they would have buried Arsenal 4 or 5-0 easily, not without any problem whatsoever. Their coach is better than ours, and the team looks much more well organised and much better, set up, and it was just it was poor. But I'm going to do a review of the Arsenal-Brighton game after I finish this video, and I'll go into a bit more detail there. And James Dunlop said it was old school Gunner, that Salah goal was class. It was, I've heard that, and the way the finish was absolutely top draw. So that's why I'm saying I can see what Stumpeg says when she said that they're going to end up going toe-to-toe for the title this year. But I reckon if City get a top-quality, world-class striker, then it's game over, to be quite frank. The press by Brighton was animal strong. It was, but the thing is, we didn't really counter it. And if we'd had a proper defensive midfielder in our midfield, we could have broken it. We could have done. I'm convinced of it. But then, we had two physically strong midfield players in Thomas Partey. Well, no, sorry, only one really. Thomas Partey. Lokonga's fairly strong, but he's not as strong as Partey. And then the others just aren't strong at all. Apparently, I've heard that Odegaard kept getting knocked off the ball and wasn't physically strong enough. Saka looks like he needs a rest. And Emil Smith Rowe, again, the problem is they're all really young. And when players are that young, they're going to be inconsistent. It's part of their development. So, it's not surprising to me. But, we've got a coach who doesn't know how to coach players. And there's not one player, in my opinion, under his coaching who's improved. All the Liverpool lassies looking well. Well, yeah. I don't know about that, but she's not from Liverpool. She's from London, this girl that I'm talking about. James Dunlop says, on Twitter, someone said we miss Xhaka. If Xhaka would have played, it wouldn't have made a difference to the game. No, it wouldn't, and it would have made it worse because he would have slowed it down. He would have made a stupid mistake, given a goal away, got sent off, something like that. Now, it would have been 10 times worse. It really would have done. So, no, I don't agree with that at all, James, and I agree with you. It wouldn't have made a difference. Well, it would have done. It would have made it even worse for Arsenal, that's for sure. Old School Gunner says, if Brighton had Basuma, we're dead meat. Yeah, they didn't have Basuma and they didn't have Danny Welbeck. Not that Danny Welbeck's a really prolific striker, but I would have backed him to score one of those chances that they had, that's for sure. So the next game, Crystal Palace and Leicester, that game ended in a 2-2 draw. So Leicester's form improved a little bit, but still, I'm sure that Brendan Rodgers must be really concerned about it. I know he was talking, I heard him talking on the radio earlier, and he was raising concerns about his team's defence. So potentially that's something they're probably going to be looking at in training, I guess. And then Old School's coming with another chat saying Palace up next for Arsenal. Is that the Emirates, Old School, or is it at Selhurst Park? And the next game saw Tottenham play Aston Villa, and Spurs got back to winning ways with a 2-1 win, which I was quite shocked about. I thought the Villa would beat them quite comfortably after the way they played against Arsenal at the Emirates last weekend. It was shocking. They were dreadful. And James Dunlop has come in with another chat saying, Leicester missed Fofana and Johnny Evans at the back, but have been found out. That's the question. Well, the thing is, I mean, it just shows they got a lack of strength in depth, doesn't it? If their two regular centre backs go out and then that all falls apart, you've got to question the backup players, really. Mind you, having said that, look what happened when Arsenal didn't have Gabriel and Ben White in the team. They got 5 put past them at Manchester City. So, it just shows you, really. Old School says it's at the Emirates. Well, that'd be interesting. I'm sure Mr. Jack in the Box will be running up and down the bloody touchline screaming and hollering at people. Our next 2 games are at home. Well, that's good news. And Palace and Villa. Villa, that's going to be a tricky one. Well, both of them will. We'll do well to get anything out of those 2 games. James says, Palace did well for the comeback. You can tell what Vieira is trying to do in terms of how they're going to play. Like I said, I didn't see the game, mate, so I don't know. But I'm pleased that he's sort of getting the grits with it and doing well at Palace. So it's good. Then West Ham against Brentford. Now, that was a major turn-up for me. Brentford winning at the London Stadium like that by 2-1. I fully expected it to be the other way round and West Ham to beat them. But Brentford are doing really, really well on after promotion to the Premier League. So, that was a bit of a shock. I don't know if it was a hangover for West Ham from their exploits in the Europa League during the week or what it was, but then Old School Gunners says the beasts were buzzing. Yeah, no, they certainly were by the sounds of it. And Liverpool and Man City, the last game, which was yesterday afternoon about 4:30. The game ended in a 2-2 draw, and Liverpool went in front twice, and Manchester City pulled it back. I also heard there was a bit of controversy surrounding James Milner, and someone was saying he should have had at least 3 yellow cards in that game, which would have meant he'd been sent off anyway. So, that's a bit curious. But, like that, apparently that goal that Salah scored, the goal that put Liverpool 2-1 up was just out of this world. The Hammers got hammered. Old School. Mate, your jokes are just unbelievable, mate. And then Old School Gunner says Brentford gave us a pasting, Warren. They did, and it's no surprise because, we've got Mikel Arteta as a manager and he don't know what he's doing, in my opinion. James says the second half at Anfield was electric. Milner, though, should have been sent off. Well, that's what people are saying. So Pep Guardiola lost the plot about Milner. Yeah, I've heard him on the radio talking about it. He was not happy at all. And he said if it was a Man City player, it would definitely have been sent off. So, yeah, it's a bit mad, really. So let's move to the next one. Right, so that's about the... Yeah, so this was a league table after all the games and in match day 7. As you can see, Chelsea are sitting top of the Premier League by 1 point from Liverpool. Man City are in third on 14. United are on 14 and Everton are on 14 and fifth. And Brighton are in sixth on 14 as well. Now, for me, this thing with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as I was saying earlier, I think it's going to have to come to a head at some point, because it looks to me from the outside looking in and listening to the stories that he's not getting on with Ronaldo. It looks like the two of them are like at loggerheads, and Everton are doing really well there and pushing for a top 4 finish. And I wouldn't be surprised. I think that Everton could catch United and grab that last 4th place spot, but it all depends on whether that they need to make sure they don't get any more serious injuries to key players, in my opinion. Then Arsenal, my team, was sat down in 11th on 10 points, 6 points off the leaders, and still with a negative goal difference of -5. And there's only about 3 teams with a worse goal difference than us. So, there you go. And then the bottom 3 is Burnley, Newcastle, and Norwich. So, yeah, Norwich need to start winning, or they're going to be in serious trouble. And to be honest, I could see them getting relegated, to be fair. So, the Warriors Team Talk prediction game moved into week 7, although it says, it says moved into week 7. Now the prediction thing is a weekly game that James is involved in, I'm involved in, and my mate Mick, who is a Norwich fan, are involved in. Anyone can join if they want to. There's no money involved to enter. It's just a bit of fun. And at the end of the season, we'll see who's had the best predictions. You get points for how well you predict the scores. And all the information about the prediction game is on the Warren's Team Talk Facebook page. I'm going to put the link in the description for that. So if you fancy getting involved in it, feel free. All you need to do is email me your predictions for the match days games, what the scores are going to be in each match. You can email it to me at warrensteamtalk@outlook.com, or there's a form on my Facebook page that you can fill in with and then email that to me. Yeah, as long as I get the predictions by 5 o'clock on the day before the first game is played, it's fine. So later in the week, I'll be doing a preview for match day 8. And so last week, James had 36 points, Mick had 33, and I had 24. So I was in serious relegation trouble there. And then in week 7, James managed to get 15 points, Mick got 11, and I got 12, which meant at the end of week 7, James was in front with 51 points, 7 points clear of Mick with 44. and I was trailing by 8 points. So I'm still struggling at the bottom of the table. So I need to sort of kick into gear and start reeling these other two in, to be quite honest. So I think there's some more chats here, yeah. And James is saying Liverpool still looks sluggish at the back low, but Salah is on fire. The man is just an absolute beast, isn't he? He really is. Every year he just like scores relentlessly. It's just unbelievable. And James Johnlop says 2 points off the top. It's our year. Laugh out loud, only joking. Well, you never know, mate. Stranger things have happened. Look what happened when Leicester won the league. Old school gunner says, go on, Everton. My dear man will be happy with her pencil case. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I forgot about that. And James Dunlop says, laugh out loud, old school gunner. And then old school gunner says, can't beat the Irish wit. No, that's true. Having worked in an Irish organisation, I can back that up for sure, definitely. Yeah, it was certainly entertaining, that's for sure. James Dunlop said Southampton need to pick up some wins soon. Same with the teams below them. Yeah, because it's not looking good, is it? I mean, they're all really struggling. So, and then old school gunner, anyone with some free time, give my playlist a lash. Yes, go and check out old school gunner's YouTube channel, and he's got 2 playlists on there, I think, and just put it on and let it roll. It'll really, really help him, that's for sure. Old school gunners, you're better than that. You're better than that, Warren. So, and then Warren be the ball. Oh God, dear me, you're so funny, old school mate. I'm telling you. So anyway, so as usual, I just want to big up some of the other YouTubers and their channels. There's the old school gunner who's in the chat at the moment, and his YouTube channel is an Arsenal content channel, and like I said, he does really good content. He uploads at least once a day, and he's a really good guy. And yeah, he does great videos. Then there's a 3 Pointers TV YouTube channel, which is great. And the guy who was in earlier, I'm not sure if he's still around, Stapes. He's part of the 3 Pointers channel. Again, they do great Arsenal-related content. And then finally, and then there's Arsenal Alex. He's another guy who does Arsenal content, and he's got a really good channel as well, and I love his delivery style. So yeah, and then finally, last but not least, is the one and only Claude and the Bansters channel. The foundations of the Arsenal YouTube world are there in full effect. So it's a great channel, and like I keep saying, whenever Diesel and Terry are on the show together, invariably it really kicks off, and the two of them go at each other real big time. It's absolutely hilarious. And then we've got spoken word poetry. Jamie Hill says, bonjour. Hi, Jamie. Hope you're well. Nice to see you, mate. And spoken word Jamie says, hello, everyone. Well, hello, mate. We're really pleased to see you. And James Dunlop says, Diesel will have a lot to say at 6:30 tonight. I'm sure I'm sure he will, mate. I can't wait. It's going to be great. And James says, "Hi, Jamie." Spoken word. Jamie Hill says, "Yes, thanks." No, it's good to hear that you're good, mate. And what did you think about the Arsenal game at the weekend, Jamie? Did you see it? Because I have to say, I wasn't impressed at all. And I think, it just opened up all the old wounds again, and we were back to our normal selves, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's it, guys. I'm going to wrap it up now. Thanks for coming in and watching my show. I hope you really enjoyed it. I certainly did. Oh, what's happened there? Yeah, so okay, guys. Thanks, like I say, thanks for coming in. It was great to see you all. And please don't forget to put a like on the video. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you can, please share my video around with anyone else you think would enjoy to see it. And please put some comments in the description as well of the not in the description, sorry, in the comment section. If you're watching this on playback, about what you thought about the games and how you think the season's going so far, and some comments about the talking points. I will make sure that I answer any comments that are put in there. So, yeah, that's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for coming in, and I'll see you all again soon.